Yo, fight fans, it is me again, Maddie Levine. Thanks for coming back to the channel. It's the 1-2 punch. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of that nonsense, because we are always talking to some of your favorite fighters. And today we have a fighter. He's an up-and-coming one for the UFC, but he's certainly been in the game for quite some time. He's calling in all the way from Ireland, and he almost took a job packing boxes, but instead he's getting prepared for his very first UFC fight. Welcome in, Dean Barry. Hey, Dean.
Hey,
Thank you for joining me.
When you said that, it just made me smile there because I had kind of forgot. Like, I can't believe that was happening. Like, it's nuts.
How does it feel to not be packing boxes right now?
Oh, it feels great. It feels great. Like, but it's different. Like, it's a different type of tiredness when you're training, like fighting for like a UFC debut. Like, the training is so heavy. So like right now I'm so tired, and I'm so happy I'm not waking up at like 4 a.m. to go and pick boxes for minimum wage. Like, it's crazy.
So I'm sure you've been on an emotional roller coaster, right? I mean, you signed a contract, some things happened, and now we're on to our second negotiated contract. What were some ways that you just stayed focused through all of that nonsense that you were going through the first time?
Just like, I made a promise to myself, my family. I was like, when I started off in MMA, I said I give myself 4 years. I was like, well, I'll give myself 4 years to get to the UFC. That's my only goal. I don't want to go anywhere else. And then I got there in the 4 years that I said I was going to do it. And then I was like, I got signed with such little fights. There was such big hype around me. And then I was like, I'm not going to let this blockage stop me. Like, I'm not going to let it affect my life. I want to be that person who, like, when my son grows up, he's going to see, like, no matter what obstacles you face in life, like, if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way to get there. And to be honest, my son mainly was my whole motivation, just to not give up on it. And me and my big brother, we just traveled the world and we made it happen. And then my baby boy is gonna be able to look back on this when he gets older and just be like, Jesus, my dad, like, whatever he wants to do in his life, I learned that with him, and we'll do it together. And like, I want him to see what, like, really, like, never giving up, where it can get you. And if you really want something, you can do it, no matter where you're from. Like, I'm from a tiny little place in Ireland, in Dublin, like a little I'm from a place called Tala, and it's a very rough area. Like, there's a lot of crime here and stuff, and it's a very hard place I live in. So I was like, like, if I can, like, inspire people from my area to put down all that stuff and go after whatever they want to do. And that's kind of what pushed me to it. Like, I want to be out fighting on the world stage. I'm a fighter since a baby. It's all I ever wanted to do. So,
speaking of babies, you have a baby, correct? And it's not just your little boy now, because I'm looking at the onesie behind you.
Do you want to see this really cool thing? Watch.
I would love to see.
This is so cool. So I got this as a little gift. So it's a baby.
Look at that!
The Venom, and then the back has Barry.
Ah, look at that! That's awesome.
Yeah. So me and my partner are expecting our babies in September. So I actually got, when I was we're in the hospital, like, they done the scan and said, yeah, you're having a baby, because we done the pregnancy test and stuff. And I was freaking out, and I just accepted that job as picking boxes. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? Because the UFC only told me a week ago that they didn't want to sign me anymore, that they were going to wait until July to potentially put me on the Contender Series. So I had to fight a few more times. So I was like, oh, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? And then when we found out about the baby, I said, I need to go home and take a nap and go sleep. And then my manager woke me up to a phone call and was like, yeah, they want to sign you right now. Like, that's it. So I was like, oh, like, I felt it was amazing. And when I had my son Jace, the day he was born, the contract arrived the last time in my email. Like, how crazy is that? Next, I'll get the lotto numbers.
Exactly. Wait, so the first time that you signed, it was like a similar story with your other baby? Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
All right, so this is fate.
Yeah, we were supposed. That's why I was saying, like, we were supposed. I knew last. It was September that I knew I was signing. After I knocked out Abdullah in the Middle East, I left the octagon and I knew I was signing. They called straight away. And they're like, yeah, you're going. So then everybody knew. It was like huge talk in Ireland, and like, they told me, yeah, they're signing me, blah blah blah. then just weeks and weeks and weeks kept going by, and we're sitting there, and we didn't want to keep pushing them. Like, where's the contract? Because they'd say, like, scrap this, like, you're pressing us. So I didn't say anything. And then the day my son was born, and my son came 2 weeks early, and the contract arrived there and then, and it was just like a miracle. And then same thing happened here. So I was like, I'm destined for this big show. Even Ross knows me. Like, I fought on the biggest stages in kickboxing that you could fight on as well. Like, I was world champion in every organization. I was always the one to turn up, and I can fight under the lights. And when the pressure's on, I come alive. And I was like, well, just get me there, and just watch what I can do. And here we are. So.
Well, this time you're gonna have, 2 babies on your mind with your UFC debut, and it's weeks away. April 23rd, going against Mike Jackson. I saw online that you wrote that you said we have unfinished business. What did you mean by that?
Because I was supposed to fight Mike November. Well, I signed in 2020, didn't I? Yeah, in 2020, I was supposed to fight Mike in November in 2020 and in Vegas. Then I got pushed back to January. Then he didn't leave America because he hasn't got a passport, and he waited till the last week to tell us, which just I would have been like well into my UFC career if he hadn't done that. And he left us waiting, and when he knew he didn't have a passport, and then which screwed me over. And then it went to May. Then my fight, I couldn't get the visa. Then he was just chatting a lot of shit about me online, like on Twitter, when he knew I couldn't physically make America with the visa issue. So he's saying, I'll wipe him, he wouldn't touch me, blah, 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 blah. He goes to me, he tried to say he sparred with Raymond Daniels, that he's like, I sparred with world-class point fighters, Dean won't even touch me. I'm like, bro, like, I fought for the USA All-Stars with Ray and all. Like, I was one of the top dogs in that sport. And then in my last fight, he was like tweeting shit, watching it. He's like, oh, Dean's fighting bums, oh, smoking, blah, blah, blah. And then I got signed, and I said, now, motherfucker, like, what you saying now? And I replied to him on Twitter. He was all this, and then when I got signed and said we're gonna fight, then he just went completely silent. I texted him once or twice, and then after that I just said, you know what, like, if he's not biting back, I'm not one of them people. I don't get into all that talk and crap. Like, I don't care about it really, So.
Yeah, like, well, that's the best part about the fight game is, you can run your mouth, and then you can back it up as soon as the cage doors close. So you can,
I'm not a trash talker either, so like, I have a little bit of fun sometimes, like, but I'll never like disrespect someone. I'd be like mean to them or anything like that, because I don't care to do that, you know what I mean? So whatever, after the fight, I'll shake his hand, I'll have a drink with him, and that's it. I just do it
after the job is done.
Yeah, I love fighting, but like, make no mistake, when it's time to fight, I want to kill you. Like, I want to like beat you. You know what I mean? Say, like, but
of course.
Yeah, like, it's just, it's when you know when to turn it on. But yeah, that was it really. Like, it's just because we used to text back and forth about the fight and stuff, and then he just kind of started being a bit of like a bit arrogant online or stuff, and I was like, you're being fake,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like some fighters need to do that. Like, they need to get into that mindset of, all right, now I got to hate my opponent. I have to get fired up, and it's like, all right, man, like, do you, but when the doors close, we'll see how that goes. But before you got into MMA, tell me a little bit about your background, because it was karate, right?
Yeah, I did the same, like the points fight and kickboxing. I did that since I started. I think I done one class when I was 10, and I went back when I was just before I was 12. I joined because I was really overweight as a kid. Like, my mom got me in it, because I was like chubby and stuff, and I just ended up kind of being naturally talented at it. And then my 3 brothers done it. We just travelled the world fighting and competing, and then they kind of drifted off after. Like, they all won world championships and stuff like that as well. So we were like a family of fighters. And I stayed at it. It was the only sport I liked. Like, I used to play every single sport, and then it's the only sport I loved. And then I became well known in the kickboxing. Like, I was like I won all the best tournaments you could win. Like, as a junior and a senior, like, I was beating all the top fighters in the world, from like Hungary, America, everywhere. Then I went to America my first time in 2016, 17, I think it was. And I was just like cleaning up over there and stuff like that. And then so a lot of people started to recognize me, and then I started fighting for the All-Stars and stuff like that. And when I got to 25, I was just like, I've done everything. Like, how many times can you win the same thing over and over again? And you're paying for it all yourself. Like, there's no money in the points fight, and sadly, unless it's a grand champion, and that'll just cover your your travel, you know. So I said, what if I was to put like this focus into a professional sport, like I think I could get to the UFC. And then everybody was laughing at me, and like when I first started off, I was the little karate guy, like the pussy, and I used to get an awful stick, and I was like, believe me, I'll get there. And I did. In the exact time I did, and I didn't change anything. I stuck to my roots, stuck to the points fight, and I did it all. So, yeah.
Yeah, who's laughing now?
He was laughing now, yeah. And that's
exactly
the funny thing about it. The ones who did chat say all them things when I learned my fighting style now. So it's funny how it happens.
So, I mean, you started on that stage, you drifted over to MMA, and now you're seeing your name in headlines next to people like Conor McGregor and Ian Gary because, you know, you are the third Irishman to go onto that UFC roster. How does it make you feel when you see your name lumped in to names like that?
To be honest with you, like I'm it's nice. Like it's such a nice feeling seeing it. I haven't, in weird ways, it hasn't really hit me properly yet. Still, I don't know why, but I never done it for fame. I never done it for, like, I don't want to be like a big famous celebrity. Like, obviously that's gonna like probably come when I start fighting the UFC. Like you get well known around the place. But I just kind of wanted to do it to more inspire people, like, or be like a really good. My role here is I just want to be a good role model. I want people to like. I want to be like the people's champion. I want people to love me and like my story and like take inspiration from my story. I don't want to be a flashy money person. I don't give a fuck about that side of it. Like, I'm just a nice, quiet family person, and I'll always be that way. But I just want people to be able to take inspiration from my story. So seeing my name, the headlines and stuff, it's nice, and like it's nice getting. I get a lot of people reaching out to me, like saying like I've helped them in ways get through things and like help them chase stuff, and they're so excited to see me fight. And over here in Ireland, like when an Irish person fights, the country nearly shuts down, like because it's so, we're hours ahead. So it's like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Everybody's drinking, partying, going crazy. So it's going to be surreal that I'm going to be that guy now that everyone's staying up to watch in April. And it's a beautiful feeling as well.
So you're headed to Vegas in April. Have you been to Vegas before?
Yeah, I was there three times. Three times. I fought there twice for kickboxing, and
okay.
I was there for just a party with my friends for like 4 days. But I competed there at a points fighting event. It was like the Las Vegas Open, and then we compete. One of them was on in the same convention as the UFC. It was like International Fight Week, so they had a big convention on. They had all different sports on, and mine was I did the points fighting. And I remember Max Holloway was watching me fighting, and he came up to me after. He was like, "Oh, you got that really good taekwondo kicks and all." And I was like, "Bro," I was like, "I'm gonna start MMA soon. Like, I want to go to the UFC and all." Like, and then how weird is that? That like, I never even did it then.
That's amazing. Would you say, you know, interactions like that, do you think that was kind of the fire that you needed to get going?
Absolutely. It's like the likes of people like him, like Wonder Boy, George St. Pierre, like Robert Whittaker and stuff like them. Like, they're the people that I look up to. Like, they're like everything about them, like how they carry themselves, conduct themselves, how like they're just like loving family people, and like they kind of show people you can do this, you can get to the top, you can make that money by just being like nice and being yourself. Like, because you, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, like, your character is the only thing you'll ever have left, and like what you want to be known as, that like this dickhead who used to, you know, thought he was the best because he's done a bit of fighting, or like you're no better than anyone else just because you do a contact sport, you know what I mean? So I want to show people you can do it that way as well, you know.
You brought up Whittaker. How do we feel about his upcoming fight with Adesanya?
I think he's gonna win. I swear. I think he is gonna, after watching Stylebender and what's his name, the Polish guy,
Blachowicz.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
Yeah. So he outstruck Izzy. Like, he just put the pressure on Izzy and put it to him, and then he got the takedowns, and he showed people he can hold Izzy down if you get him down right. And there wasn't that much of a size difference. Like, so and Whittaker's really big, so Whittaker's huge. So I think Whittaker, that's going to be his game plan. He knows he can wrestle, and I think you're going to see it.
How do you see your fight going in April?
First round knockout. I think I'm just gonna beat, like, I think when he comes out to see me, the second ref says fight, I'm going to go into that karate style and I'm just going to set this horrible pace and feint and put him. He's going to just be all over the place and I'm going to crack him from every angle you can think of. And then I'm just going to put his light out. It's a shot you don't see, and that's one thing I'm very good at. Is I'm able to hit that button from every angle, and I think I'm just going to catch him and he's gone. I feel really confident, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm training. I've started like proper fight camp today, and I'm always training. Like I'm never not training. Like I train all the time. Like usually twice a day anyway. Even when I'm not in camp. But today I really upped the intensity. Like I had like a hard sprint session this morning. Then I had like 2 hours of just MMA drills and wrestling there. So I'm feeling it. So today was the first day of it, but it gets you start getting used to it.
Getting real.
Getting real. And do you know what the crazy thing is? I don't have to worry about a weight cut, which is so weird. I'm fighting at 170, and right now I'm 175, and that's I'm eating crap. Like today I started my diet, so I'm gonna be so strong and shredded at this.
So you never have to cut for 170, really?
Never. My last fight,
wow.
I weighed in at 166 pounds, and I had to put trousers on, tracksuit bottoms, and put phones in my pockets, and I weighed in at 169 because my opponent came in at we're supposed to fight at 165, and he said, can we do it at 170? And I said, yeah, cool, whatever. And then he came in at 178 pounds. So if you're over by 10 pounds, they won't sanction. So
that's like not even trying.
Yeah, and this was him after trying to cut. And I put on tracksuit bottoms, and I put like 4 phones in my pockets to make the weight.
So why not go down to a lower weight class?
Oh, after this fight, I'm going down to featherweight. So because they are so adamant for me fight this guy Mike, they just want me to fight him. I don't know why. They just want me to go in there and just wipe him. And I think they want to cut him after this. So I don't want to be. I don't ever get joy out of like someone losing their job or anything like that. But like that's kind of what they want to do, and then I can go down to my weight class. Usually I fight 155, but my last 2 fights were scheduled for 155, and then like the one in Dubai where I knocked your man out, who was 7-1. We signed for 155, and then he said, can we do 160? I was like, whatever. Then he said, can we do 165? And I was like, right, whatever. I didn't care, and then we ended up fighting 170. So I just don't care, whatever. I just want to fight. Makes no odds.
True fighter right there. I like that.
That's it.
So April 23rd, you're heading to Vegas, and you're gonna make a splash for hopefully some new USA fans. And what do you hope that people? I'm sure you want people to gravitate towards you, but what do you hope to bring or to show that will really wow this new fan base?
I think people haven't seen anything like Wonder Boy since he came in. He's getting a bit older now, so I want to be that kind of guy who takes the mantle, who he passes down the torch to me, and I want to show people like how good our points fighters are when we transition over properly, and I want to just show people like how beautiful it can look inside that cage. Like I want to create like art in there, like like fighting is so it's like expressive, like you can express it. It's like if you really watch it, it's like you can tell your story through it, and people can see like your personality through your fight and stuff. And I'm just a fun, bubbly, outgoing person, and you'll notice that with me when I'm fighting and even in my interviews and stuff. And I want people just to see like you can do this by being a good person, and I'm just someone trying to provide for my family, and that's it. So I reckon I always get really great response from the Americans, even in kickboxing. Had so much support and like a lot of friends there, and also I think I will get a good reaction out of it if I go out there and fight the way I can fight, with all them kicks and spin kicks, side kicks, everything, and them angles. Like people are gonna just like, it's one of them styles. It's a fan-friendly style, so even if you're not too familiar with MMA, you're gonna love watching me fighting because it's just exciting, I'm always throwing.
Absolutely.
I'm always going.
That's awesome. So you're a gentleman outside of the cage, a killer inside the cage. It's going to be so much fun watching you in your debut, and I wish you nothing but the best. It's going to be great.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great talking to you.